TunnelBear is the easy-to-use VPN that lets you browse the internet privately. What's up guys, and welcome to what I think Samsung should do with its Galaxy Note 9. Now obviously they'll make the subtle refinements they've been doing every year. We're going to have probably slimmer bezels, we're going to have a faster chipset inside, and a better camera image sensor. But we're going to delve a little bit deeper. So the first thing is, I think Samsung should really tone back the Samsung. Now don't get me wrong, I do like a lot of what they're doing on the software front, but it's very inefficient to have Google's own goodness, like Google Assistant for example, baked into Android, and then have Samsung's equivalents on top of it, like Bixby. Now Samsung is really pushing their own services to the point where they're making you use a dedicated hardware key just to activate the service, but it actually doesn't make sense, and for 90% of the users, Google's own services just do a better job. Bixby, which officially released in somewhat of a final form with the Galaxy Note 8, still feels like a beta. It doesn't offer anywhere near the features that the company sort of perhaps hinted at when they were talking about it, and to be honest, I've just found myself disabling it. The fact that you can't actually remap the Bixby button without installing third-party software really hints that Samsung is forcing it upon people, almost as if Samsung doesn't think Bixby is perhaps good enough that consumers would go out their way to download it, and that the only way it can get consumers on the platform is to actually force the hardware key to activate it. Now, I'm not suggesting that they go completely stock Android, as much as I would personally love that, because of course you've got to expect each company to have their own skin. And part of the reason they do this is to just keep people using their devices. For example, if I use the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 and then I wanted to upgrade to the Samsung Galaxy Note 8, because Samsung's got its own skin on the devices, they feel familiar with each other. So my natural upgrade path from a Samsung is to a Samsung. And that's just pure business, I don't expect them to move away from that. All I would say is that on the software front, in areas where Google itself offers a better experience, just leave it to them. Now, you've probably all heard about screen-embedded fingerprint scanners, the ability to just place your finger on the screen and it to use some sort of under-screen scanner to still securely let you in. And this has been talked about a lot of people thought we were going to see it on what is now the iPhone X, but unfortunately the technology just isn't ready. Now hopefully it's going to be ready by early 2018, but if it isn't, Samsung really needs to change the fingerprint scanner location. And fine, whilst there's not enough space on the front of the screen to have it, why don't they put it on the side? This was seen on the Xperia Z5 line of phones, and it works really well. Your fingers naturally rest on the side of the phone, and every time you grip the phone like that, they will literally fall into place on top of it. That makes so much sense. Now when you are putting together a feature wish list, the kind of things you want to see on the Galaxy Note 9, a pretty good place to start is where the Note 8 falls short. And to be honest, there aren't many areas. This is a fantastic phone, and between this, the Pixel 2 XL, and the iPhone 8 Plus, I've been rotating constantly because I love all three of those phones. Having said that, whilst the dual cameras on the rear of the phone are very capable, and in the right conditions can shoot some of the best smartphone photos out there, they're a little bit inconsistent. This is something I noticed even since launch day, and it hasn't been fully corrected simply because live focus mode is fiddly as hell. You have to be a very specific distance away from your subject, which is something that isn't nearly as strictly imposed on competing handsets. With the iPhone or with the OnePlus, I can simply whip out the phones out my pocket and more or less take a portrait mode photo. But with the Note 8 it involves a lot more positioning, a lot more adjusting, a lot more moving around, and it also seems a little bit more sensitive to lighting conditions. So the Note 8's camera hardware is great, but in terms of making further improvements to it, I think Samsung would be best placed to start with the software, to really make it work in less than ideal conditions. Now that the Pixel 2 phones are out, and we can see what they've done with just a single camera, it kind of throws another spanner in the works. Less so about the rear cameras, but more just because of that front portrait mode. The fact of the matter is, selfies are huge, people love taking selfies, and being able to do that whilst also having that professional looking photo is going to be game changing. So if Samsung struggles to implement something like that with the Galaxy Note 9, they may find themselves falling behind a little bit. I would also ditch the iris scanner. Compared to the competition, compared to how fast and seamless the iPhone X is with Face ID, this just feels a little bit last gen. If Samsung can improve it, they should definitely do that, make it take far less time, because sometimes you're sitting there for up to 5 seconds just trying to line your eyes up and get it to work. Whereas iPhone can do that within 0.1, 0.2. If they can't match that level of seamlessness, I think they should just drop it, and they should instead stick to one carefully placed fingerprint scanner. They could then knock $30 off the price and make the Note 9 a little bit more competitive. The next thing I think Samsung needs to really consider with the Note 9 is audio. Now the Galaxy Note 8 has great audio when you plug in headphones. It's got a good DAC inside it, which can support higher resolution audio. The problem comes from the speaker. This is a multimedia device, it's got a gorgeous display so you can enjoy videos on, but the first thing you notice when you play those videos is the bottleneck, the weakest point of the phone, and that is the speaker. After listening to the Pixel 2 and the Pixel 2 XL, people are blown away by how good that sounds. The same with the iPhone 8, the iPhone 8 Plus, even the iPhone 7 sounds far better than this. And this kind of leads me to one of the sad things when it comes to where smartphones seem to be heading. Companies like Samsung, companies like Apple, companies like LG, they all seem to be taking the things they're good at, like for example Samsung, it's the display, the performance, and they seem to be stretching those further and further. They seem to be taking the display to the next level, performance to the next level, but they're kind of not really looking at what are necessarily the weaknesses of the phone. The phone could definitely do better when it comes to camera software, could definitely do better when it comes to audio, but it's been so many iterations of the device and they just haven't done that. And on a similar note, something I've been wanting to see in smartphones for a very long time is a true oleophobic coating. A coating around the front Gorilla Glass and the back Gorilla Glass so that you can't see fingerprints at all on it. Because it's just a little bit counterproductive when companies spend so much creating these beautiful sleek devices, but they just look a little bit grubby after 5 minutes of using them. Could you imagine if every time you take the phone out your pocket, it looks just as dazzling as it did the moment you unboxed it? That would be really awesome. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. This wasn't meant to be a rant about the Galaxy Note 8 because I can't tell you enough how much I really like the phone. But what I did want to just make the point about was that there are weaknesses here, and it would be absolutely amazing if Samsung could address them in its next iteration. And that could make the Galaxy Note 9 an instant buy for a lot of people. Finding secure access to internet can be challenging. Hotel and cafe Wi-Fi hotspots are notoriously insecure networks to do anything personal, like banking or working. That's just one of the reasons why millions of people trust TunnelBear to protect their data. TunnelBear is a simple to use privacy app that helps you to browse a more open internet. There's virtually no setup, just sign up and download the app, and once you turn TunnelBear on, all of your network traffic is encrypted, which stops other people from seeing what you're doing online. When you sign up for a TunnelBear account from tunnelbear.com/boss, you'll get free monthly data, and you don't need a credit card to try it for free. That's tunnelbear.com/boss. Thanks a lot for watching guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.